Hello and welcome into the SorareData Show. I'm Andrew Lairdinho. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. Today to talk about my favorite SorareData tools. It's not just mine. To be honest, I was going to call this stream our favorite SorareData tools. And as you notice, it's just me today. Sean was upgraded from out to doubtful, but he wasn't able to make it. So we may see him later this week. We'll see. But I was going to say our because I actually was really hoping that people in the chat would share theirs as well, or people on Twitter, what their favorite ones were, because what I think are my favorite doesn't necessarily mean that they're like the best or they're the ones that other people use the most or what it is. And so the way that you play Sorare is very different to a lot of other people. And there are some people who play it like you. And so just the tools that you take advantage of could be different. And so we're just going to go through all of those, or at least some of them today. And so, yeah, that's it. Thank you to everybody for coming in. Liam, Glenn, and Colonel Dickweed on the podiums. Well done. Colonel Dickweed, first podium. How about that? Way to be. Way to be. And also appreciate everybody with the likes on arrivals. That's always really nice. Bob Franklin, what's up? Midiozo says it has to be the lineup builder in terms of my favorite tools. And Vita's here says, if it's not the lineup builder, I'm leaving. And Vita, maybe I'll wait until the end to say my absolute favorite. And then you got to stick around. That's how content works, right? Mike Basson, what's up? Agent Cooper, is the answer a spade to bury all DNPs? It is not. Nixon, hello. Jack P, what's up? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, brought to you by Bob the Builder. David Alves, what's up? Alberico, I definitely miss a filter to see SO5 scores for seasons. Why do you want that? So it's funny. The thing that I find with a lot of people, with a lot of things on SorareData, is they fall into different categories, but one of them is like things that do exist that people didn't know exist. And that we're going to go into that a little bit. And another is things that people think they want, but they don't know why. Or something like that. And I feel like this like full season SO5 scores, people really want to see like full season stats. And it's kind of like, well, why do you want to see that? And they're like, I don't know. It's just like good to see. And it's like, okay, is a full season better than their last 40 games? Is it better than their last 15 games? Is it better than their last 5 games? Is it better than their entire career? And so like, what is it about full season stats that people want? I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just curious. What makes full season stats? And if the answer is kind of like, well, just more data is better, I may argue with that. Major NFT, what's up? Thanks for coming in. Skozer, Shaforko, a bit late, but we haven't gotten into it, so don't worry about it. So yeah, if you guys have like a favorite tool or feature on SorareData that you think not a lot of people know about or underappreciate, throw them in the live chat, throw them in the comments below, because it's definitely worth kind of showing them off. Because again, I think there's a lot of stuff on SorareData that not everybody knows about. And so, yeah, let's do that. So I guess I'll start with the lineup builder because it really is the best one. I would argue that the SorareData lineup builder alone is worth the Star membership, which is currently $10, euros, pounds a month, or $100, euros, pounds a year. So you get to the builder with the builder link up here, pulls it down, lineup builder. I will preface this with saying I have some lineups already in the builder for this midweek, which starts in less than 24 hours. And if you're not ready for this midweek, go check out our preview that Harry and I did earlier today. So you're going to see some of the lineups that I created and the ones that will help me win all the prizes this midweek. But anyway, so the lineup builder is a tool to help you get the best out of your cards. And the idea is it helps you organize and see kind of more information that that we think is beneficial in making lineup decisions, such as what's the matchup like for the player that you want to play, and Vita said, careful with Hulk. The airport might be closed due to a flood. If there's anybody who would get through a flood, it's Hulk, though. Come on. But I guess he'll have to carry everyone else. But thank you for that heads up and just crushing my dreams before they start. So I'm not going to go through every single piece of the lineup builder because honestly, that would take an entire hour. And I don't think that's beneficial, at least right now. So the way that you guys might use the lineup builder might be different than me. So one of the things that I really like is the ability to see a player's last 15 scores, which is not the default view. If you want to go to the preferences, and in this table view, and there are a lot of different preferences that you can use that help you for a number of different reasons. But I happen to use this one. It's on all the time. Show last 15 scores. I just like seeing that because it allows me to see, have the very clear view of the player's form. And also, if you click on one of the scores, it takes you right to the player's score of that game. And then if you click the score, you can just go to the game page if that's what you want. And so I actually use that. The match odds, to be honest, that's what I use the most, those two things. The pick scores are obviously really what gets me. And, people use pick scores all differently. The way that we generally try to use them, or the best way to understand pick scores is that it gives you kind of a reference to how good this player's opportunity to score well in the next game is. It's not a projection of a specific number of points. It's not a guarantee that anything is going to happen, but it's looking at a number of different factors. And if you just hover over the pick score, you can see exactly what goes into the pick score and sort of let me get out of goalkeepers. Nobody likes goalkeepers. Of course, Enzo Perez. Let's go. So it gives you an idea. Scoring history, matchup, the odds of the match. Cost efficiency is more for a cap 240 situation, but it's basically there's potential against their cost, whether they're projected to be in the lineup and their form. And these are all things that we want to consider of each player going into the game week. And so the more dark green you see on this radar, the higher the scores are going to be. And I'll even kind of expand it a little bit. If we show the pick players, it'll show the ones that I have in other lineups, and it'll just give us a little more of a view of what some of the picks or what some of the radars kind of look like. And there's actually a ton more in the lineup builder. And it's funny because Vita, I feel the same way. He said, what strikes me the most about the lineup builder is that everyone uses different preferences. And I've never found anyone using the ones I do, which is really like, the more you use it, the more you realize kind of the things that you want to focus on your lineups and all of the preferences and filters options that not everyone uses the same ones. Frankly, I don't even use dark mode, but plenty of people do. And when I see their lineups like shared on Twitter and stuff, and I see the dark mode, I'm like, oh yeah, we do have that. And what's funny is I use dark mode in certain apps, not all apps, but like this right here on the lineup builder on our website, I do not use dark mode. So if you use it, it's there. But anyway, you can have this option to always show the cost or to hide it. The affordable players is for cap modes. The Continental Knights example here. You know what? Let me try another one. Well, actually, let's just go to All-Star because that'll pull all of them. Of course, I click U23. So anyway, you can see them all here. The cost takes it out because cost doesn't matter in All-Star. So the pick scores are just kind of your indication of how well this player how well their opportunity is this game week. And ideally, it includes all of the things that we want to include, including whether they're going to start, and that's another conversation for another time. But the pick scores also feed in the suggested lineup. I have never once trusted the suggested lineup for an entire game week. But I think what's really nice about it is that it gives you it kind of boosts players that maybe you weren't necessarily thinking about. and says, hey, maybe you should look at this guy for this weekend. And it just gives you something else to look at. Let me catch up on the chat because I apologize. I was going off on one there. Mike Basson, why does pick score AAA someone based on opponent score when their past scores show they rarely reach that predicted score? So again, it's less about what they've done in the past and like how good is this opportunity right now. Are they facing a team that happens to give up a lot of fantasy points to the specific position that that player plays? Are they overwhelming favorites this time? Like there is never, almost never, I don't want to say never because of playoffs obviously, but in leagues that don't have playoffs, you're never going to have the exact same situation twice. You may play every team twice, but you play one at home and one away, and those things are very different. So what we try to show with these pick scores is how good is the opportunity in front of you right now based on other things that have happened in the past. Like we're not ignoring the past, but there are situations that maybe they haven't been that good recently, but they also haven't had a matchup as good as this one this game week. And that's why the pick score may look elevated for some players. And it doesn't, it's no guarantee. It's just a rating of how good the opportunity is, not a guarantee that they do that they get a specific score. A few people putting out their favorite tools. Let's come back to all of these. Germ says it's the concept builder, which is amazing because that's still very much in beta. Would love a league filter to be updated to match new competition structures. So Germ, what if everything that you loved in the concept builder was right here in the lineup builder? Would that be of interest to you? Luis said, my trades as well, when you're doing a complex trade and you get a counter offer, that saves me a ton of time to understand the trade. Luis, that is one of my favorites, and we'll get into that one later, I assume. Let's see. Jack P, not my favorite, but I did a video on some tools for players you want to buy. Expired listings button. Love that. Watch list in rewards. Yep. Card utility under cards to see which manager isn't using their card regularly. So Jack, two of those I will get into because I agree with you. Some of those are my favorite. Skozer said, took me 18 months to find dark mode. To be honest, I don't think dark mode has been around for 18 months on SorareData, so I don't think that wasn't a you problem. Beta said, are you saying you don't trust your coworkers? What did I say that I didn't trust the pick score sometimes? I didn't say that. So Germ, this actually exists in NBA right now. The ability to basically show concept players in the lineup builder. And again, when I say that like we're working on things, please don't think that any of this is coming immediately, although there is one thing that may come very soon. Never won a full game week without using suggestions. Yeah, it's always something. It's always something. So we'll see. Agent Cooper said, the best thing about SorareData is all the tools being together in one place and on one website. SorareData probably saves me hours of scouring the web for info. Time equals money. That's why the top membership is vital. So honestly, so much of SorareData is built around the idea or the goal of saving you time. That a lot of the things we have on our site are things that you can find elsewhere in 10 different places, and we're putting it all together in one so that you can attack the game week or attack the market or do all of these things faster. And that's not to say that there are some people who really like their process of taking 8 hours to do their lineups every week when we could probably do it in 45 minutes. I'm not telling you that your process is wrong, but so much truly is about saving time. And I think that's really important. I think being able to use your time more effectively, whether that's dedicating more time to Sorare or more time to literally anything else, I think is really important. And so SorareData is here to save you time and give you the resources to take advantage of your cards. Anyway, one of the things that I wanted to touch on, and I did this in a stream, I think it was either last week or the week before, and it's about the market. So again, there's so much more in the lineup builder. One of the benefits of having a membership is you can go game weeks in advance. If I wanted to make my lineups for game week 495, which is 19th of July, I can do that right now. And I don't know why I would want to do this, but you can. And so I could see, yep, I've got Brad Stuver. Let's see. Looks like River Plate have a decent matchup at home. I don't know why I wouldn't take Armani there. Carlos Heel home against Dallas. Shout out to Germ. We've got Messi home against Chicago. Oh, I'm going to win everything this week. And then Key at home. What is this? Game week 490. Let's go. Let's go game week 495. Let's do it. So actually, one of the things that I really love, and I'm actually going to go to last weekend because I haven't built all of my lineups for this coming weekend. The ability, what are we in? 471. The ability to see all of the lineups that I've created in one spot is so amazingly valuable to me. And I spend more time on this page than possibly anywhere else. Just like Thursday, when I do all of my lineups, I put them all together, and it's fundamental. It's like the move is, can I put any of these cards somewhere else? And essentially being able to look at all of them and seeing what I'm playing with that week is great for me. And as many tools as there are, or as many features as there are within the lineup builder, something as simple as the My Teams and being able to really visualize all of my teams on one page. And I realize you have to scroll to see some, but do I want to move this Dusan Tadic from my top classic challenger team to my second one? And what does that do to the second one? And Jerm, I've been a Sam Junqua fan for a while now. And when I say fan, I mean I won his card and I never played in a good lineup, and he keeps smashing. And Arthur, I agree. I think you need a membership. And if you've never had one, you can do a free 72-hour right now if you want to. Andy said, Sorare taking away the all lineups view is rage inducing. I think they have it now. It's hidden somewhere though. I don't know. I honestly, I find this one easier to use anyway. So obviously you can see all of the preferences are available here. I don't even know how many people use these additional like the advance in the form, but it's just a little more. Here you can put in lineup projections. You can see how often people are playing these cards in these specific competitions. And then in the form just gives you a little more kind of this stuff includes essentially the stuff that goes into the pick score. So if you really want to dive into the specific numbers, you can do that. How often they play, their L15, their decisive and all around average. It's all here. Andy, this isn't a show for trying to find lineups on SorareData, or on Sorare, but I'll show you later if I can find it. And then obviously for the filters, if you're one of the big things that that people ask about now, let me just go back to, let me go into this coming weekend. 475. I think I have teams already. Let's see. Oh, I do. So one of the things that we have now, obviously, is the ability to play scarcities down, which a lot of people have been using for, limited. You can play down, but not a lot of people like to actually use rares or super rares or uniques in limited. And so here you have the option to just show limited scarcity, and so it just cleans it up for you. There you go. Agent Cooper said, seeing all the lineups together is genius. However, it tempts me to make one change, and then a domino effect starts causing me to build lineups for a further 4 hours. I will not disagree with you there, but you're right. It does create a bit of a snowball, if you will. If anybody has any questions about the lineup builder, I'm happy to answer them. But honestly, this is worth $10 a month if you're somebody who puts in a significant number of lineups each week. And frankly, I think significant is like 5. It just helps you get a better gauge of being able to play your best cards together and understand how competitive they are. And of course, I can't believe I didn't even bring this up, but let me go back to this past weekend. The lineup strength indicators will show you just how competitive your lineup is based on the competition. This is driven by the pick scores and essentially the players that are available in this competition. And so you can see, oh, yes, I have a very good possibility this week, or no, I don't. And then in cap competitions, it'll give you essentially the odds that you're going to hit this each level, each threshold level. And people always think that's really small, but you just have to remember that these are essentially based on median projections, not upside. And so it's always going to be lower than you think. And just because you happen to hit 390 with a 2% doesn't mean we were wrong. Toby said, did you see that you gained a starting keeper in the Euros today? I did. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So again, anything more on the lineup builder, I'm happy to talk about it. And frankly, I may even go back to it later. But the one that I brought up on stream recently that some people didn't see or didn't care to see, whatever. And I will also preface this by saying that we are changing this slightly soon. I don't know how soon. Don't ask me every day when it's coming, but get there. But anyway, essentially, if you're looking at auctions or the secondary market, the information that exists elsewhere, it feels insufficient to allow you to make the best decision of whether this is a card you should buy or not. And so and of course I'm going to use Dusty Dusan Tadic here. Actually, you know what? Rabo's here. I'd rather use Rabo just because I can't stand Tadic, who I need. So 89.61. I have this in dollars. You can put it into ETH or euros or pounds, whatever you want. I happen to have it in dollars, and because I spend dollars. But anyway, this is the current price of the auction, which has 6 minutes and 37 seconds left. We have the players L5 and L15, whether they have a game in the upcoming game week. And then if they do have a game, they'll have the pick score. So we have a 1 week average on Andy Robertson. For limited cards, it's usually a 3-day. We will use a 3-day if we have it. If we don't, then we don't. Maybe I should even use Onana for the 3-day. And then we have a floor price. That's just if you hover over here, you'll be able to see it. What a lot of people didn't realize until the stream later, and I apologize if you guys saw this previously, but for those who didn't, if you click on the floor price, it brings up a modal here that will show you all of the cards currently on the secondary market in that scarcity. So we clicked on an Andre Onana limited card. And so these are all the Andre Onana limited cards that are currently on the secondary market and those that are on auction. Obviously, we clicked on the one that was on auction. So you can see $34.06 is where the auction is. The floor is $35.91. I don't think Onana has old season limited cards, but for other players that do, let me see if I can find one. Jonas Hoffman certainly says, oh, I gave away the next one. So when you go, you can see all of the cards of Jonas Hoffman on the secondary market and ones that are in upcoming auctions. Obviously, we have the auction here. So as you see, he's got a whole bunch of different ones, and the new season ones are a little more expensive. In fact, everybody's trying to get out of Jonas Hoffman. And if you click on this 3-day average, you get the price graph, and you can see exactly where all of his recent cards have sold. And you can do it in any scarcity. I think I had pounds up because of our show earlier today. And you can do a specific date range for players that have different positions on their cards. So someone like Rio Hatate has everything but goalkeeper cards out there. You can pick a specific one and specific season. So if like you only wanted to see 2022 Jonas Hoffman cards, you can see that right here on the price graph. And these are very similar filters that are available on the player pages as well, if you happen to go to Jonas Hoffman's player page. And you can also see his scores and his score graph right from the secondary market page. And this is available on the offers tab, which is the secondary market as well. So you can see Ollie Watkins, the floor is 34. This card happens to be selling for 42, and he has a 41 3-day average, which looks like it's more new season cards than old. I forgot the other kicker here. Sorry. If you are on the auctions page and you want to bid on the card, you just click on the price right here, and that will bring you right to the auction on Sorare so that you can make your bid. Good luck with that card. Anyway, so let's see. Ignore the chat for a little bit. Agent Cooper said the lineup builder helps me find upcoming gaps and fill them, not always with the best quality players, but that's on me. So totally agree with that. That's sort of the point, is that you can look ahead and say, oh man, I'm missing a whatever for this game week. Thankfully, I'm getting it, 1, 2, 3 game weeks ahead, so that I'm not paying kind of the max price for those players. Okay. Let's see. Shaforgo said, I don't like the lineup strengths, as I usually have at least 2 lineups over 85 and I rarely win anything with them. Do you win nothing with them, or just not tier ones? Agent Cooper said, I'm just watching this. I'm just realizing watching this that I have the top tier membership and I'm only utilizing about 20% of what this website has to offer. So Agent Cooper, honestly, most people are in this situation. Like really, there are so many tools on this site that are underutilized by a lot of members, or they just didn't know they exist. And so that's the point of this show, is to go through some of these that I use all the time and what other people may use all the time, and see that it's worth it. So I spend a lot of time looking to acquire cards. I wouldn't say I necessarily am looking to buy cards. So one of the things that I do, and for those who watch the show regularly, it's probably not a surprise, but I look for a lot of cards in Denmark and recently Norway. And so I look at the secondary market for a lot of them. And so I'd been doing this so often. You can use the league filter here. Super League is a Danish Superliga. You can use anything, all the other ones. I also have the Elite Siren. I feel like I've never said that word out loud. Now I'm trying to. Anyway, that's Norway. And I kept clicking on both of them and searching. So essentially what I did is I just saved a preset of the 2 of them. And you could just do this by, if you wanted to look at all of the cards in MLS and like the Brasileiro in Brazil, like if you're a Challengers player, and you do this over and over and over again, you can just save the preset and you can just call it MLS and Brasileiro. Not even sure I spelled that right. And then when you come back to it, this actually works on the auctions as well. But on the secondary market, you can just click this and it pre-fills for you. And you can get all of the cards that you want from those 2. And so you have the scarcity filters as well. And now it's just going to show you all of the cards from those 2 leagues that are on the secondary market. And if you're an in-season guy, you just click on 2024 and you can see all of the 2024 cards, meaning the new season cards that are available in those leagues. So we've got Ricky Puig, Denny Boanga, Miki Yamane, like all of these cards are on the secondary market, and you can see the difference between the floor and their asking price. Now, the obvious question here is, why can't I see the new season floor? And our answer is because it's not out yet, but we are working on it. And that's something that we know is going to happen, that is coming. Just please don't ask when, but it's coming. We know that's important. We play Sorare. That's why we know it's important. Tuggy, what's up? Thanks for coming in. Tuggy, what's your favorite SorareData feature? So a few people have been talking about watch lists, and we have 2 different kind of watch lists on Sorare. We have like a manager watch list and a card watch list. And you use different things for different purposes. So I'm going to try to use, let's see, which one is a good one to use as you guys look through which ones I have. So, sorry, got distracted by the chat here. So I made this Summer Elites. When did I make this? Last July. I should probably get rid of this, as I saw Lucas Zelarayan on it. But these were supposed to be the top players for the summer. This was last year, so obviously, let's just clean this up. Alexander Alvarado shouldn't be here. Insignia's hurt. I guess we could keep him. Zelarayan is off to the Middle East, so we'll take him out. It's Hatanaka and Marlon. Their show. Anyway, so there's 16 players on this list. If this is a list of, like, you put the list together of players that you want to acquire, player cards you want to acquire. You make this list, and I think a lot of people use this price graph to see like, oh, how card prices have moved a little bit. There are 3 other tabs here that I think are really important. One of them is the stats tab. So you can see kind of exactly how they score over certain, that's 5, 15, and 40 games. I would assume that Messi, 13, that doesn't even seem right. 7 decisives in his last 5. I'm not even sure that's right, to be honest. But more importantly, if you're looking to acquire these cards, if you hit this offers tab, and I have it set defaulted to floor price only, but it will show you the floor price of all of the cards in your watch list. And you can change the scarcity if you want. You could also take the floor price out. You can turn this under latest average on so that you can see all of the cards that are selling for below the recent averages. And so you can just go through and see these are all cards that are available to buy on the secondary market that are on your watch list. And if you're more of an auction guy, you just click auctions and you can see exactly which ones are on auction. Looks like Sho Sasaki limited is expiring in 41 minutes. And so you can go after that just right from your watch list. So another tool that I use for using watch lists, let me see here if I can pull one up. I had one for traders. Apparently there were 19 traders. So when you have a manager watch list, you can see all of the cards that are on sale by these managers or the ones that they recently acquired. And again, watch list is another tool that we are actively improving. So what you're seeing today, which is May 6th, 2024, could look very different in the next, I'm not even going to give a time frame, could look different soon. And so using a trader one is probably a terrible one to use because not many people, or because it takes forever to load. Let me see if I can find another one. Hold on. If you're somebody who, let's see, I happen to have a SorareData employee one. Let me try that one. And it actually doesn't even include everyone. This is an old one I did. This is a private one. It probably doesn't need to be, but you can see it. But anyway, you can see all of the recent acquisitions by the managers in your watch list and whether they won an auction, whether they got a reward, whether they bought it on the secondary market. This applies to every sport. And so it's just something that if you happen to be tracking people who are wanting to track people's incoming and outgoing cards, this is at least where you see the incoming ones. Speaking of cards that people have. So I don't know if this is true, but I think generally the most popular, and Vita, you may be able to, well, probably not answer this right away, but I'm guessing a lot of people use Pavel's Gallery, one to look at just seeing cards that they might want to acquire, or Basilbot, or Sirhis, any of the traders. People want to see kind of like what cards they have and what cards maybe they've brought in. So one of the filters that we have is the ability to use your watch list. So if you wanted to use that, what was that terrible watch list called? Summer Elites. You can just click on that watch list and it'll show you just the cards in this manager's gallery that they own from that watch list. And what's great about this, particularly with traders, and Pavel's one of them, who Pavel basically never sells cards if they're in lineups. You can tell if they have that card in a lineup or not. And that's with this little use tag right here. So we know that Pavel has that card in a lineup somewhere. And you can go through his whole gallery and instead of having to like go to his Sorare results and look to see if they have a card, it's right there. And that actually is a big thing that I use because when I'm looking to acquire cards, I you don't want to just randomly put an offer out to somebody with a card that they might be using, because people don't want to kill their lineups to do that. And so let's say you're looking for who's somebody that, well, let's just use Carlos Heel. Sean's not here today, but we could use Carlos Heel. So if you go to Carlos Heel's player page and you go to the cards tab, I'm actually going to take out the limiteds because there are just so many of them. So if you're looking for a Carlos Heel rare, so a lot of people, what they do is they go to this auctions and offers tab. I should probably have checked that before. Okay, so there are a bunch of Carlos Heel cards available. What I do, and again, this is the way I use SorareData. This is not the way that I'm telling everybody they should, but I go to the card tab and I click this on sale on Sorare and I just filter it. And now you can see all of the cards that are on the market. You can see the floor price, which is obviously these two, the recent averages, who's selling the cards. And obviously what's helpful there is like if you see a card and there are a bunch on the market and different traders are selling them, sometimes you can play them off each other. But the other thing is if you don't have the on sale on, so you want to see all of the rare cards, you can see all of these people who are using those cards. And it's no surprise that Carlos Heel rare cards are used by a lot of people. But as we see, like here's one that is not used. And so maybe you want to just send out an offer to somebody who may not be looking to sell or maybe hasn't posted that card yet, but might be open to sell it. And you can just look at those people who have cards and are not using them this game week. That's a lot of cards, man. This also has a season filter. So if you just want to look for a new season Carlos Heel, and you can see if anybody is not using it, looks like I'm sorry. So not only there are two that were not used in this current game week. I wonder if this one was bought yesterday. So that was after the game week opened. So the two there's one available. Is this a flip? Is an auction? That was this one, right? Yep. And now so they bought it for $291, $291. Is that 81? $281, excuse me, now on the market for $296. But you can just see that. And you can see it right there. Sorry. Agent Cooper, I had a query about watch lists. Yes. The filter for leagues still shows the old competitions. Will the new contender challenger competitions be incorporated? Yes. Yes, they will. That's one of those things that we're working on it. We had to change those filters in a lot of places, including like the pick score page and the matchups. And so, yes, that is coming. Don't worry. So the other thing that we can see here is this card SO5 utility for the current owner, which essentially shows you how often this person uses the card in SO5 competitions. And the numbers are going to be fairly low for 2023 cards. 2024. But for 2023, you can look like, who is this? Sanche, who I think we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago, has had the opportunity to use this card 51 times, meaning there are like 51 game weeks that they've had this card that could be used, and they've used it 50 times. Doesn't seem like a card somebody would give up because it's obviously very important to them. This one is 50 out of 50, 45 out of 49. This one's 2 out of 2, which means they probably just recently got it. Shout out to Fear My Turtle here using Nizgil 43 of 48. Curious why he wouldn't use it ever, or why he wouldn't use it those 5 times. But anyway, I use this page a ton just to kind of get a gauge of who's using the cards, who's selling cards, and whether I think it's a card that I would be able to get, from somebody. There's just looking at all of these are all the Carlos Heel limiteds that are on the market. So not a single new season one is on the market. Let's see. Tuggy mentioned the price graph earlier, which is also one that I use quite a bit. I tend to use the auctions and offers one more in terms of trying to get a gauge of recent prices. I say that because I like to see players that are like heavily traded. You don't necessarily get on the price graph because you'll see kind of the values of traded cards are a little different. But again, it's very similar data on the 2, and it's just, basically your preference. Similar Players is also one that I use. This is essentially a look at the players who have similar, and it defaults to L15, but you can change to L5 or L40. Players who score similarly to the player who you're looking at. So Carlos Gil has a 59 L15. And so players in his age range, I think it's 5 years, but it may not even be that long. Let's see, how old is he? 31? Maybe it's 4 years. What did I say he was? 31. So yeah, I think it might be 3 years. I don't know. Vita, any idea on that one? Anyway, players who have a similar L15 over that span. Well, Joshua Kimmich, Emil Forsberg, Robin Lod. And it just can give you an idea of players who score similarly, and you can see the price of their cards in comparison to Carlos Gil's. Sora Andre says, will the SorareData app for iOS or Android develop more? Will expand its functionalities? Our goal is at one day that everything that's on the web app is on the mobile app. It's a significantly big endeavor, and it's slower to do it. And any new feature we come out, we want to do both. But so the answer is yes. We're always working on improvements and enhancements on the SorareData mobile app. Like full stop. Always. It is always something we are working on. And so yes, the answer is yes. We'll expand the functionality significantly in the future. It already does quite a bit. I actually wasn't even focusing on the app, on the mobile app on this show. But for those of you who are unaware, and again, it's available on iOS and Android. It's the exact same app. And it's where you can go to get game alerts or player alerts, which are either in-game, they score a goal, you get the real-time alert, or if a card goes on the market for a certain price, I didn't even talk about price alerts yet, you'll get notified like right away that those are happening, and that's all done through our mobile app. So price alerts, I'm going to give away too much here, but you can set price alerts for any player. You just click this bell icon and you can say, please alert me on the mobile app every time a Carlos Gil card goes on the market for, hold on, let me see here. So the limiteds are $34. So let's say you wanted to play $25. You can just do that, apply, and every time a Carlos Gil card is listed on the secondary market for $25 or less, you'll get a notification. And you can also track all of your price alerts if you just go up to your manager name here and you say my price alerts. And this is a list of all of the price alerts that I currently have. I probably have to clean this up because some of these cards I don't want anymore. But just gives you an idea gives you a central hub of all of your price alerts, which I think are really valuable. And yeah, I think they're really valuable. Carol said, I would very much love the starter probability filter from mobile to be on desktop. So Carol's mentioning that on the pick scores on the mobile app, you can actually just only see players who are projected 100% to start. And we agree. So Jerem, in-season price alert, it's a great question. That is coming soon. Let me not say soon, because I actually have no idea how much time it takes. But this is something that we are actively working on, is essentially just that. Oh, I want to buy. It's not even just in-season price alert. It's any season. Oh, anytime there's a 2021 Ren rare card on the market, please alert me. And so, or, a specific player. If there's a Jeremy Doku 2021 Ren card rare that's posted for less than $300, please let me know. It'll do that. Agent Cooper, my mind boggles at how SorareData make all these constant changes and improvements to the site, considering how few of you there are at the company. So there aren't that few of us now. Like we're a group of 15 people, but the basis of all of this is we are Sorare players, which is part of the reason why we don't try to be like, hey, Sorare, come by us, let us play, because then we can't play. We play Sorare, and we play, the people in Sorare play Sorare very differently. And so it gives us a view of what certain people want to do on Sorare. They think, man, it would be cool if I could do this. And almost every tool on the entire website since the beginning is, I want to do this. How do I do it? And how do I do it easier and faster? And that's it. So if there's a tool that, something new comes out, boy, I really wish I could see all the top contender midfielders for this upcoming game week. Like, we agree, and we are building tools to help you realize that. And if anything seems like it's missing something, we're always open to feedback, but also we're probably already working on it. And I make that joke to some people that a lot of the suggestions that people send us are ideas that we're already working on. It's not that none of this is easy. None of this is super fast, but we agree that there are certain things that we feel that we can deliver to our members in the best way possible. And like, that's what we work to do every single day. And by we, I mean other people, because I don't actually do any of that work, which is why it's so good. I just get to take the credit for when it comes out, and I'm like, hey, look at this. And everybody's like, wow, great job. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't have anything to do with this. Agent Cooper said, this stream is making me want to go scouting again. Shame I currently have 0.005 ETH in my Sorare wallet. I mean, Agent Cooper, you could just trade cards. And that's what, let me do that. So our trade builder is still, I would say it's still in its infancy. And we know that there are a lot of things that could change for it. But let's say you want to get a card from somebody else. And let's see. You could also search a player and see if you can get one of their cards. You can see where those cards are. But I actually prefer to use this on a manager level. And to be honest, I do this a lot with bots. So BasilBot's one that I use a lot. I will admit that the filters on this page could be updated. Obviously, we have our, you can sort all of this other manager's cards by your watch list. And so we can do that for now. I'm going to take out, I happen to play mostly rares and super rares. So I'm going to try to see if any of these summer elites are in BasilBot's gallery. And the idea is, let's say I want Cucho. That's a jersey mint though, so I bet I'm not getting that one. Let's go with Eduardo just to make it a little easier. So the idea is that we can see what the current floor price is of Eduardo, what the recent averages are. Do they not have a lot? Let's see. The recent averages are also for public transactions, so auctions or cards bought directly out of the secondary market or instant buys, so which is why we see those. But essentially what you can do is then you go into your gallery and say, which cards do I want to give up to get that card? And you can just scroll through and see which cards you want, confirm them, and it gives you how much your cards are worth, or the floor prices, what the last averages are, and then you can compare them pretty easily. Now, again, this does not include the difference between in-season cards and classic. We're working on that, like we know that, but it just gives you a better idea of the valuation of your cards. And if you get an offer from somebody else or you send an offer, you can use this tool. It automatically looks for your trades in this My Trades, and it'll give you a very similar, let's see, do I have any? I don't have any received, but I've sent some offers. I guess I killed all of them, but it just gives you an idea. It'll give you a very clear view of what your cards are worth versus what your cards have been trading for versus what the value is of those cards. And you just go to work from there. I feel like I've been talking a lot and we are like just scratching the surface. One of the other ones that I like, and we use this on the game week preview. I use the pick scores a ton. And for those of you who are aware or unaware, excuse me, pick scores are only available for the upcoming game week. And a lot of that is because a lot of the information that we use to develop to create the pick scores is the information that's coming this game week. So if you're somebody who's playing cap 240 and you're like, hey, I want the best player, I have 42 points left, who's the best player? Like, you can just use this filter. That's not a filter. I forget what it's called. Apologies. But this is essentially all of the highest rated players in that cost range. So yeah, that's the pick scores at least. And you can do it all by competition because pick scores are competition dependent. So a player may be a AA and all-star, but could be a AAA and champions, for example. And again, apologies for doing this midweek because we don't have any of these competitions, but tune in for the game week preview later in the week. And you'll see all of the different ones. Agent Cooper said the trade builder tool is the perfect way to find out how much Pavel Trader is trying to screw you. I know we say that a little jokingly, but you're right. That's exactly what it's for. All right. Were there any that you guys brought up that I didn't get to? I apologize because there were some that I wanted to make sure I hit up, but let's see. Oh, Nixon said, my favorite part is the results page with your little Your Players window with Kim Tae-won as 100. Yeah, I wasted that too. So if you go to to the game week and then Sorare results, you can see all of your lineups for the game week. But you also, oh man, what is this? I took the lowest target this week, by the way. This lineup's winning me $60, and it's got 447 points. Anyway, but yes, you can see your top players right here: Messi, Kim Tae-hwan, Bernardeschi, and Andy Robertson. Man, no ambition. I'm such a Anyway, let's see what else you guys have. Concept builder. Okay. Tuggy said, if you need the trade builder to find out Pavel's trying to screw you, that might be a problem. Just how much. People like to know how much they're getting screwed. So yeah. And for those who don't realize this, on your lineups, like if you scroll over or hover over, you can see how many cards are left in the competition, how far away you are from, oh my God, 0.0. Oh no, that's not. Ugh. So I'm 8 points away from a tier 4, 30 points away from a tier 3. You can see all of that. You can obviously hide all of yours, see how many coins you win, what prize you're in, what you're currently winning, and kind of where your expected place is based on the L15s of the remaining cards. Agent Cooper, I like this scouting player rankings page where you can filter by their AA. Good way to find out who's doing well without the decisives. So I agree. For those of you who don't know how to do that, if you go to Scout, Player Rankings, and honestly, you could just sort by AA. Of course, Biscagli. Jeez, 38. And he's better lately. But you can do this for all of the specific competitions. So if you just wanted to see contenders, the best competition, or if you just wanted to see all midfielders, you could use the midfielder tab and look at that. Or if you want players who played all 15 games in the last 15, you get some guy named Salvatore Esposito. Who's this guy? Wow. I feel like I should know him because he plays with Daniele Verde. But see, play around with the tool and you end up with guys you find out this guy exists. And he only has 8 classic rares. So we go back to our cards page. Let's see who owns them. Looks like everyone was using it except for this one, Flipperland. Are they still around? So you can click on the card. You can go right to this manager's gallery. They are still playing. They just happen to not use that card this week. What did Salvatore score this week? Just the 74 with no decisive. Not bad. Not bad. Or if you want the limiteds, let's see. Anyone selling? Ooh, there's one. Oh, Satonio. Another bot or trader. I'm not sure. So then you can use this card back. You go back to the trade builder and you just start to figure out. What's his name again? Salvatore Esposito. Now, Satonio has a ton of cards, and so obviously it's going to be tough. Sometimes it takes a little while to load, but there he is. And then you can just start dropping in cards that you think maybe Satonio wants. So yeah, pretty simple. Oh, Ilan Cabal, Wilmar Barrios, Pedro Diaz. These are all people that I've been told to buy recently. Nico Castro. Oh, man. Big AA guy. Anyway, Biscaglia Messier game breaking right now. Challenger scares me. I mean, good news, Biscaglia's season's almost over, and maybe additional news, maybe he doesn't stay there. Having Messi is pretty fun, though. Mike said, I like the stats page that can be found off the team or league pages. All right. This is probably the last one I'm going to go through because I think a lot of people don't know this exists, but I also think we're going to change it not soon. But anyway, let's say you want to see, I'm going to really throw myself under here. Let's say you want to look up the top players for leads, stats-wise. If you go to the players page, and frankly, to be honest, if you're just looking for leads, you can just search Leeds United and it comes up as teams. I went to Somerville to really rub the salt in the wound. But if you click on Leeds United here, you get an overview of the team. We have the top SO5 averages, all this. You can see the full roster of all the players broken down by position. The formations page, which I love, it shows you exactly their formation in all the games they play. You just hit this little eye and it'll show you the different lineups used for each game. The opponent scores, actually, a lot of people don't know this even exists, but essentially it's like fantasy points given up to specific positions by leads. I think this is a bit misunderstood. I'm not going to go into this now, but we're working on this as well. But if you use the stats tab, you can see either from the last 5, last 15, or last 40. And I'm guessing people will want to see full season without telling me why that's more helpful than last 40. But you can see all of the stats from every player on the team, all the Sorare related stats for that team. So Mike said, who has the most clearances off the line or errors led to goal? I'm not sure. That's funny because I'm not sure decisives. Do we have those? We must. Last man tackles. Big chance missed. Maybe we don't have errors. Oh, we don't have those. How about that? All right, good. We were redoing these anyway. But all of these columns are fully sortable. So you can see Junior Firpo has 9 chances created in the last 15 games for Leeds. Somerville only has 3. Big chances missed. Patrick Bamford has 7. And you can just change it over the last 40 games. That's actually not that bad. Somerville only has 10. 97 attempted assists. And so you can see this for all teams, and you can see it for specific leagues as well. Like if you just go to the football league championship and you hit the stats, all of the players from that league will come up. And so you can see that I don't even know who this is. Curtis Nelson has 87 effective clearances in the last 15 games, and that is the most in the English Championship over the last 15 games. So if you're somebody who really likes to dive into stats, those are all there for you. Agent Cooper said the only stats worth looking up are high claims and smothers. We can do that. Good high claims. 32 for John Ruddy. That's a lot, actually. And smothers. Who is this? I don't even know who this is. Matija Sarkic from Millwall. Oh, there you go. Has 4 in the last 15 games, which is pretty good, I guess. Yeah. So that's about an hour. That's all I'm going to do today because, again, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's just so much more that you can do on SorareData. But those are the kind of the ones that I use the most often. And if you have any questions or any of your other favorites that are here, please leave a comment below. Like I said, we're always looking to improve the site. Not always looking, we're always improving it. You guys don't see all of it because you'll see it when everything is done. We have to design, come up with an idea of what we want to do. We have to design it, we have to build it, we have to test it, and then we put it out to production. And so these things take a little time. We don't want to just like throw something out and just hope it works. And so what we are here to do is make your Sorare experience easier. And we think that our SorareData Star membership more than pays for itself for a lot of users. And so if you want to try it out, we have a free 72-hour membership that you can try. I would recommend doing it later in the week so you can get kind of a weekend game week use out of it, both for getting you prepared for the game week and for tracking the game week as it goes on. So yeah, thank you to everybody for coming. If you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. And I'll be back tomorrow, maybe with an improvement on one of the things I showed you today. So yeah, thank you to everybody and good luck out there.